Hello everyone. So this week I will be doing a special edition of videos which will be luxury week, and that will include two videos on my best buys for luxury clothing and accessories and another video on the best buys for luxury beauty and skincare items. For all of these items as well, though I'm not saying it's impossible, I don't feel like I could find the same thing at a cheaper price point, so I feel like the money that I spent on it was really well spent, and I've gotten a lot of enjoyment and wear out of each piece. So today we're going to talk about all of the fashion and accessories. I'm going to start with accessories because I feel like the smartest place to spend your money is, generally speaking, on accessories, just because you will get so much more wear out of them. You can wear a cheap dress or something like that and then accessorize it with nicer accessories, and your overall look will look really expensive, which I know is nothing new. This whole high-low perspective has been around for like a decade now. Alright, so we're gonna start with accessories, like I said, because that's definitely where I have tended to spend most of my money, and I know a lot of you are interested in handbags like I am. It's definitely a passion of mine by now and something that I collect, but this bag was actually pretty much my first luxury handbag purchase, and I feel kind of proud and smug that I spent my money so well. It was money that I earned by basically summering and interning in Hong Kong. So this was my savings from that trip, and I have gotten so much wear out of this bag. This is the Louis Vuitton Galliera handbag, and I actually think they don't make this anymore, but you can still really easily find it on resale websites. And the reason that I feel like this is the best money I ever spent on a handbag is twofold. The first one is how much wear I have gotten out of this bag, and the fact that that wear just has made me love it more. So I know with a lot of handbags, you guys are often really concerned about sagging and scratching and discoloration over the years. Because you spend so much money on a luxury handbag, you don't want it to start to look all like worn and horrible. But there's something about the Louis Vuitton canvas and leather trim that just looks better with age, and I feel like these handbags can look a little bit tacky with the monogram when you first buy them. If you're always carting around like a brand new Louis Vuitton, I've definitely, you know, I don't know, I feel like there's a kind of stigma almost about that, and a lot of people wonder if it's fake or whatever, but a fake handbag would never age like the actual real thing, and it just ages so beautifully. I'm so impressed with how great it has stayed. I love the way the leather turns caramel over the years. I think it just gets more and more beautiful, and I will continue to wear this and love it more as it darkens. And I just have been so impressed with how well it has aged. My mom was really concerned that some of the darkening of the leather would be really uneven, and I can see why she would say that, but I have to say I don't think that's the case. There is a little tiny bit more darkness at the corners here, probably from contact with my skin, than there is on other parts of it, but overall it's a really soft kind of ombre effect, and it just is really gorgeous in person still to this day. I feel like the hardware on it has not scratched very much. And then the second reason, I do have a second point as well with this, why I'm recommending Louis Vuitton over my other handbags that I still love despite, you know, having worn them a lot. I definitely still love like a slightly worn Chanel is just gorgeous. My Celine handbags get really floppy, but I kind of like that butteriness. But I think what's different about Louis Vuitton, at least for where I live, is the service, because we have a full boutique in the hotel Vancouver. I actually had the shoulder strap detach. One of the little screws fell off, and it was really embarrassing because my handbag just went spilling in the middle of the street, which doesn't sound like something that would recommend this bag to you, but they were so fantastic when I brought it in. They didn't ask me a single question. I was whisked straight upstairs. I was given a cappuccino and told that it would take like 10 minutes to fix it, and this really nice gentleman went ahead and put a brand new screw in it. They didn't even bother to look me up in the system, even though I had purchased it from that store. So to me, I just walked away from that experience feeling like the money that I spent on this bag was so well spent, because I don't think that it's that easy to get a handbag fixed from any other designer. They would have to send it out at the minimum, and some of them might give you a bit of hell as well in terms of how long it has been since you've bought it. And that experience just kind of gave me peace of mind, and I haven't actually bought any more monogram pieces from Louis Vuitton since then. I haven't really found a design that I love as much as this one, and like I said, I really like the look of it being worn, and I love like vintage Louis Vuitton pieces as well, more than the new look. So I know I'll have to wear a new one for about a year and a half before I will get any color on it, and as a result, I think what I plan to do is just to get another one once I feel like this one needs a bit of a rest. But I haven't felt like that so far, and I purchased it in 2012, so it has been 4 years since I've purchased it, and I really love this bag. So I definitely understand why a lot of people like getting inexpensive sunglasses. If you are someone who tends to lose your sunglasses a lot, do not spend a lot of money on them. That's really silly. But I actually have never lost a pair of sunglasses. I am really careful with them, and so I do like buying pricier ones, although I tend to really like getting classic styles rather than the trendy ones, like the mirrored ones that are really big right now. So in the past, I've had Gucci, Tiffany's, and Dior, and they've all been great. They've all been really good quality. I still have all of them. I like having different styles. I feel like with different outfits, it is fun to switch that out. But recently, I spent some money on Tom Ford ones, which I had heard really great things about, and I have to say these are my favorite sunglasses that I have ever owned. They're kind of a Wayfarer style, so you could definitely get Ray-Bans and get a similar look, but they're a little bit different in a couple of important respects. I really think that the plastic on Tom Ford sunglasses has something special about it. By the way, in case you're wondering, this is the Rock TF 290 style. I will link it down below. It's actually unisex style, and it's in the kind of caramelly brown color, which is a little bit softer on the face, so I really like that. But anyway, there's something really special about the acetate plastic that these glasses are made out of. It's really light but really substantial feeling, and it also feels really durable. And I have to say, it does feel different than my Dior's or my Tiffany's. I don't know what that is in the manufacturing process, why they feel different, but if you're gonna spend the money, I feel like Tom Ford is a really good way to go, because they are just so well made. I feel like the details on them are really nice. There's a metal nose piece in between here that has little screws, so it's not glued into place. The way they kind of fold in and out has a nice kind of bounce to it. Little details like that are definitely something that matters to me, and if I'm gonna spend the money on a luxury purchase, I definitely wanted to have that. Now for jewelry, you guys know my philosophy if you've been watching my videos for a while. I really don't believe in costume jewelry. I'm very particular when it comes to jewelry. It's not that I'm a snob, it's just that I feel like jewelry is something that I want to be really classic, and I really feel that investing in something that is real, so silver or gold pretty much, or pearls or semi-precious stones or whatever, is so much more worthwhile because it will hold its value. I would rather have one really high quality necklace than 25 pieces of costume jewelry. I have very little costume jewelry, and that's just my philosophy. So if I'm gonna spend the money on you know, precious high-end jewelry or get it as gifts, I do still think that Tiffany silver is a really good option. And if it feels a little bit overdone, I feel like their silver pieces are still really well priced, and also for my particular store here in Vancouver, they do free polishing, and that's such a great motivator for someone who's really lazy about polishing like myself. I really hate polishing jewelry. I don't know why. It's something that really annoys me, and I will never do it, and then it looks so ugly as well because silver does tarnish. Even if the jeweler says that it won't, it will eventually. And so I do bring my pieces in about twice a year, and they polish them all for free, and then they feel brand new. They do a better job than I could ever do if I were to do it myself, because they have the special machinery to do it, and if I had to pay for it, it would be really expensive to do that. So maybe that's something that's worth inquiring about wherever you live, as to whether your local Tiffany store will actually polish the jewelry for free. I Instagrammed about this a few months ago, and I was really surprised that a lot of you said that your store does not do that. So it's worth checking. Don't take my word for it, because I don't know what that depends on. I just know that my store does do it, and whenever I go and I have that done, it again, you know, just like with the Louis Vuitton experience, it makes me feel like the money spent on the jewelry from there is really worth it. Alright, on to shoes. So these ones are new. You guys have seen this recently in my designer haul that I did a few weeks ago, and then these ones are not that old either. They're Pradas that I bought around Christmas time in the shoe sale at Holt Renfrew, which is my favorite shoe sale available here in Vancouver. Now, shoes are definitely something where I've had to learn the hard way about which designers make good quality shoes and which ones, in my opinion, are not necessarily worthwhile for me. So I bought 2 pairs of Louboutins when I first made my foray into designer shoe wear. I still think overall I prefer to spend my money on handbags rather than shoes, because shoes touch the ground and they just get so grotty so much faster than a handbag. So I still think, you know, if you are gonna choose, it makes so much more sense to spend your money on handbags. But I occasionally do still buy designer shoes, and I've learned which ones are the best in my opinion. So I think Louboutins are gorgeous in the box. They look so fabulous on the red carpet and in blogger photos, but in real life, for me, at least with my feet, which I don't even think are particularly wide, there's really only room for 4 of my toes. I really don't think that a luxury purchase should ever cause you pain, so these 2 designers are the ones that I feel like are really great, do have that extra kind of oomph that you would expect from a luxury purchase, and don't cause me any pain. So I can walk for hours in these, even though these ones are still quite newly purchased. You can see the soles aren't even that worn. I haven't gotten the undersoles attached yet to protect the leather, because it's better if you can kind of scuff them up a little bit first. So these are the Valentino Rock studs. These guys are like the most vanilla designer purchase you could probably pretty much make. But like with most things, there's a reason for it, and that is that despite being very high and very pointy, they are magically comfortable. They really hold your feet in well, so there's no rubbing from the straps when I wear them. They do look really shiny and fabulous on. I did not really believe that they were particularly, I don't know, classic or a good purchase until I bought them on a bit of a whim in the shoe sale, and now I have to say I probably will eventually pay full price for one of the classic pairs, because I just feel so happy to wear these since they don't cause me pain, and I feel like they look so glam on, and I don't care if they look like Barbie shoes. I feel fabulous when I wear them. That's when I know that it was money well spent. It just makes me really happy whenever I see them on the shelf, and I just feel so happy that I actually took the plunge and purchased them. They don't feel like wearable art, they feel like really actually wearable, and I think that's a really important distinction. If you want your shoes to just look pretty on the shelf, I think Jimmy Choos or Louboutins are your best choice, probably because they have the red soles, or the Jimmy Choos just have so many great styles, but to me they're really not that comfortable. Other ones that apparently everybody knew were really comfortable except for me are Pradas, and it actually was one of my real life friends who told me about this, that they have really great cushioning on the inside and they're just really well made. She actually bought the same ones exactly but in black, and this is Saffiano leather, so it's very durable. I've worn these a lot so far and you cannot tell at all. There's no wear on the heel at all. The sole on these ones as well does not need an insole right away like most other shoes, because it has something glued on already that allows it to be anti-skid and just not wear like just a plain leather sole would. So these products have just been such a great purchase for me. I feel like I've waxed lyrical about the benefits of nude shoes, so I will not treat you guys to another lecture on that, but they are my most worn shoe style for sure, and I really like how subtle they are as well. It is definitely like subtle, understated luxury that you have this little Prada sign underneath. You can definitely see it when someone's walking, but it's not as kind of out there as the Valentinos. So if you want something a little bit more understated, I think a Prada's is a really great place to spend the money. If you want something that looks really similar and is cheaper, I totally get you. I think Cole Haan makes really great nude shoes as well, for probably about half or a third of the price, but I do really enjoy wearing these and it does make me feel great. When I wear them to a meeting, I do feel like $1 million, and I think that's an important facet of luxury purchases, is how it makes you feel. It is that kind of emotional aspect. And now we are ready to get into clothing. One of those is of course the one that I'm wearing. I'm wearing a DVF dress. I always try and grab some of those in the sale when the opportunity comes up, because I feel like a classic wrap dress is so great, and to this day I still don't think anybody does it as well as DVF does. It makes sense, she pretty much invented it, so they are still doing, I think, the most beautiful prints and the most interesting styles for wrap dresses, and they keep reinventing it. So they do, you know, some short sleeves, and this one has a bit of a ruffle as well. So I will link my current favorites for that down below. In addition, I feel like buying some really high-end beautiful suit wear at some point in your career, if you do wear suits to work, is a smart decision, because you will want to feel really luxurious and proud and perfect on an interview day, and you definitely don't need to do that earlier on in your career, but it's nice once you do feel kind of established to go ahead and make those purchases. My favorite places to make those are Hugo Boss, Theory, and Helmut Lang. I feel like they make the most structured, durable, elegant looking blazers that still are tailored to the feminine shape. A lot of blazers tend to look really boxy on me, and I feel like those brands are the ones that consistently have great fit, and I don't feel like you should have to spend money on tailoring when you buy a great blazer. It should fit you right off the rack. So I did spend the money on getting a beautiful Hugo Boss plain black suit. I encourage you to get the matching bottoms, whether that be skirt or pants, because once that goes out of style and they come up with a new line with different fabrics, you will really struggle to get a perfect match in terms of tone and fabric. So I did go ahead and buy the pants when I bought this blazer. And then finally, because I cannot make this video without mentioning this coat, this was my first luxury purchase ever, and it was one of my smartest decisions in life, because I have never worn a coat as much as I have this one. My Burberry Kensington trench coat is so well worn now. It definitely has lost a little bit of its shape, but I've had it since I was 17 years old. I'm 27 now. So I do feel like this was some of the best money I have ever spent. I bought it in England, and I did choose to get the liner as well so that I can wear it when it's a little bit colder. That's a really nice way to kind of extend how often you can wear your trench coat. I find that this trench coat barely wrinkles. I do not take good care of it. I tend to rumple it up. It spends a lot of time on the back of my office door as well. But there's not a single little patch of wear on the entire trench coat. You cannot tell how old this trench coat is or how much wear it has gotten. Something I love as well is that although Burberry do new little accents and limited editions and special fabrics and colors with their trench coats, they still always have the same classic styles and colors. And recently purchased a weatherproof navy one, and I'm really excited to have that one added to my collection. You want to buy a coat that no matter what you're wearing underneath, be it dressy or casual, is just what you reach for on your way out the door. You don't need to think about it because you know they will look great. And I feel like this Burberry trench coat pretty much has been that for me for a decade. That is the last piece I'm going to mention. There's definitely a lot more items that I own that I could mention, but I really wanted to be very selective about what I included in this video as pieces that I really truly stand behind and feel like were worth every penny. So if you have your version of those items that live in your closet and you feel really good about the money you spent on them, then make sure that you leave that down below, because I'm dying to know, as we all are. Make sure you subscribe and like this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!